And now, as long as the Angle has really wondered for a long time, when will New England decide to save itself? When states like Maine, Rhode Island, Connecticut finally get fed up with high taxes, low growth, rising crime, when they finally kick the Democrat dinosaurs into the amber? Well, then, when that happens, we'll see how populism is really taking hold. Well, I was in Connecticut over the weekend. I have more on that later. For my Glastonbury High School reunion, I spent a lot of time talking to folks on the ground there. A lot of people seemed really fed up, and were both sad and mad at what had happened to the state we all grew up in. And I sensed the Democrats who once thought that they were untouchable in the state, I'm talking about elected officials, may be starting to sweat it. Republicans are actually spending money in these races across the region. A Kevin McCarthy-aligned PAC is spending $23 million on ads in 8 Democratic-held districts that Biden carried by double digits in New England. Now, some interesting nuggets here. In Connecticut's 5th congressional district, where Biden won by 11, Republican George Logan is demonstrating broad bipartisan appeal, according to Axios. And in Rhode Island's 2nd, where Biden won by 14, a new poll has Republican Alan Fung leading the Democrat by 8 points. So how bad are things in New England? Well, in New Hampshire, where Liberal Senator Maggie Hassan is running away from any debates, it's fentanyl and the economy that's killing them.
There is a drug problem around here. I mean, there's a lot of that goes on, but that's because there's not a lot going on around here. There's not a lot of work around here. There's not a lot of jobs around here.
Thank you, globalization. And in Massachusetts and Rhode Island, some folks will be choosing between food or heat this winter.
We're seeing electricity prices rise in New England. We've seen electricity prices go up, increase over 64% in Massachusetts and Rhode Island.
In Maine, things are no better.
We always hear from our struggling neighbors, friends, and family members about winter and how hard it is, specifically older Mainers, but we've not heard concern like we are hearing this year. What we're hearing is we don't know how we're going to make it. We simply can't afford these costs.
Oh, it's infuriating. In Connecticut, crime is out of control. Flags were at half staff this weekend. That was after 3 police officers were ambushed. 2 are dead. More than 80 rounds were fired at them from behind.
It was multiple rounds, and it was like a war zone. And then next thing you knew, there were sirens flying everywhere, and it was scary. It was actually scary because we don't get this. We don't have this. This is a quiet neighborhood.
Not anymore. No one is safe. No wonder the state's incumbent Democratic Senator, Ned No Answers Lamont, is in a tight race with Republican Bob Stefanowski. Come on, nutmeggers. It's time to try something different. You've done this forever. And one woman who wants to help lead the charge is Leora Levy. She's trying to unseat that septuagenarian senator's serpent, Richard Blumenthal. A new Connecticut Examiner Fabrizio poll has her only down by 5 points. Leora joins me now. Leora, good to see you. I felt the fear building over the weekend in the state. People are scared. So my question is, what have Democrats done for Connecticut lately?
Well, all the Democrats have done for Connecticut lately is to make life unaffordable, to make life feel unsafe. Their crime has risen, to make Connecticut a border state by flying illegals to Westchester County Airport and to Tweed Airport, bringing fentanyl and human trafficking and all the other things. That's what the Democrats have done for us here. And the people of Connecticut are ready for change. I'm so happy to hear you were in Glastonbury. I was in Glastonbury yesterday at the Apple Festival.
Oh,
and
actually,
I was there. You were there?
Yeah, I can't believe I missed you. That's what a bummer.
I'm sorry I missed you too.
Well, it's a great state, Leora. This is actually a wonderful state. If people haven't spent time in New England, you just kind of write it off. So it's liberal, but it's beautiful. You're great people, and I think we have to have a mantra: no state left behind. There's no reason Connecticut has to be in this situation. None at all.
That's right. Life does not have to be this way. We can change. It can feel normal again. We're not asking for extravagances. We just want to be able to feed our kids, heat our homes, go to work with a full tank of gas and not think twice about it. That is not too much to ask, and we can change. It's time to change, and I'm the woman that's going to bring change to Connecticut.
Leora, you're so courageous and brave to be doing what you're doing, but you have big money on the other side, and that's Senator Richard Blumenthal, who was most recently expressing frustration at Saudi Arabia for not bailing out the Democrats on the high gas prices. Watch this.
Humongous blunder by the Saudis that is against their own self-interest, as well as the threat to the global economy, the danger of rising oil prices to American consumers at the pump. It harms Americans, and I think that the administration, more than any of us, is well aware of these practical consequences.
Leora, if there ever were a worthless U.S. Senator, Richard Blumenthal is he. Okay, it disgusts me to hear him say that, given our energy glut that we have in this country and what we've done to our own people. Connecticut, just for that, they should vote against him, just for that comment.
I agree with you. And I want to remind people, he's a senator who voted for the JCPOA, the last Iran agreement, and he will do it again. He is threatening the Saudis by saying what he said. And by the way, he only wanted for them to delay their reduction in production by 1 month so he could win the election. He doesn't care about the people of Connecticut, but I do. I want to reinvigorate American energy production so we can bring those prices down again permanently. And I'd love people to go to my website, leora4ct.com, to learn more about me and learn more about the policies I will be promoting.
Ms. Levy, we need a female Connecticut senator, conservative, with smart solutions. This is all about common sense, and you got it. Good luck. Everyone in Connecticut, get out and vote and change.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.